Hi, I'm Arlene McIntyre, Creative Director at Ventura Design, and you are listening to Shut the Front Door, a light-hearted podcast that will bring you through the front door and into the homes of influential and interesting people. Home for me is one of the most important things in my life. My career has fortunately given me the opportunity to work closely with people and to help them create a home they will cherish forever. From starting off doing hilarious impressions to becoming the voice to wake up to on Irish radio, Doireann Garrihy has become a household name. Her laugh is infectious and her comic genius is second to none. Coming from a family filled with love, it's easy to see why this lady brings joy and laughter into so many lives. Breakfast radio presenter on RTE 2FM, creator and star of the Doireann Project, and successful podcaster with the fantastic The Laughs of Your Life, it's my great pleasure to introduce the lovely Doireann.
Oh my God, what a fun intro.
Thank you for coming into us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Cabin fever was definitely about to set in.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be here.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a safe environment and we're all
safe.
doing our best.
We're doing our social distancing.
Yeah.
There were no embraces when we met. We did a little kind of elbow tap. So it's all good.
You're at least 2 meters away from me at the moment.
At least at this fabulous table. What kind of grey would you call this? I like it.
A grain oak. It's just an oak.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, oak. But you can have the tops in any finish. Like, I'm not going to go into the whole sales thing.
Yeah, you're like, well, Doireann, now that you've asked.
Now that you've asked. That's our aspen stain. It's quite nice.
Gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Very, very nice.
So let's start from the top.
Yes.
I know you're really good at keeping people on track on your podcast. I love your podcast, by the way. I'm a huge fan. And I just thought your interview with Trini was a tough one for you because she is hilarious.
She's brilliant. And she is like a spinning top. She doesn't stop. Like she is. And you can tell that from her social media. All she wants to do is just keep moving. Next idea, next outfit, next whatever it is. And so that day, she was staying in the Merrion. And I was like, I booked a room in the Merrion, a kind of a conference, small room. And they had all these fab pastries laid out and blah, blah, blah. And she came in and I kind of thought, she definitely won't touch the pastries. She ate every single pastry, every cookie, and anything that was left over. At the end, she got a napkin and like scooped them all.
I saw that. That was like for real. Yeah. She really did.
And then she was eating
them all away.
She was eating during the podcast. And I didn't mind, but a couple of people wrote to me afterwards and were like, Trini was amazing, but by God, like anyone with a bit of OCD about that kind of thing was like, why was she eating? But no, the content was amazing and she's so cool.
Doireann, please tell me from the beginning about your childhood home, your memories of growing up.
And
where you grew up.
So we grew up in Castleknock in Dublin.
Okay.
On Peck's Lane there. It's a very kind of quiet lane. And there seems to be, it's not until I got older that I realised that a lot of the locals are people from the country, a lot of them the west of Ireland, who moved to Dublin and all just happened to be in Castleknock.
Totally.
You've noticed that about Castleknock.
It's full of country people.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So even our neighbours across the road who would be very friendly with the O'Sullivans, they're Cork. Mm-hmm. There's a couple from Kerry. There's lots of people from Clare that my parents would have known. So we grew up there, myself, my sister Aven and my sister Alva. I'm the baby.
Okay.
And my dad actually was out for a run one day. So my mum and dad lived in Lara Lodge.
Okay.
They rented a house there. And my dad was a carpenter and my mom worked with him. And he went out for a run one day and he ran down Peck's Lane and he saw on the corner, I won't say where exactly, because in case anyone rocks up to my parents' house, like, this is where Doireann said you live. But it was on Peck's Lane on a certain corner. And he saw just a patch of land and he said, that's where I want to build a house. So he ran home to my mom and said, I found exactly where we're going to live. And my mom, as always, this has like been a trend throughout their marriage as far as I can see, for as long as I know them. My dad comes up with the wackiest ideas. My mom tries to talk him down. My dad doesn't get talked down. He goes ahead and does it. If it works out well, my mom's like, yay!
It was her idea.
Yes! If it works out badly, she's like, it was his idea.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think that's probably most couples, to be honest. But
are you like your mom or your dad?
I actually, weirdly, I don't know if this is a youngest sibling thing, but I almost feel like I'm a quarter of every member of my family. I'm a quarter Alva, a quarter Avian, a quarter my dad, a quarter my mom. And I think it could be down to the fact that I am such an observant person, and I'm like a sponge. And so it's almost like I absorb a bit of all their good bits and a bit of all their bad bits, their flaws. So I, like my dad would be like, I'd be a total disaster with say accounts or keeping my affairs in order or like making sure I have my bills paid on time. I'm a disaster at that. That would be like my dad. But I'm good at, if I say I have 2 hours and I'm at home and I know that there's a drawer that could do with clearing out, I'll absolutely tackle it. And that's very much like my mom.
Okay.
So I don't know what that says about me. I don't know. It's kind of a weird mix. But I think I'm a bit of all of them. And then with Aoibhinn, we both are very into the arts and into creative stuff. Whereas with Alva, we have a very similar sense of humour. So I'd like to say there'd be a meme I'd come across and I'd send it to Alva rather than send it to Aoibhinn. You know, like we'd laugh about certain things. So yeah, I think I'm a bit of all of them. Okay.
So you go back to your parents finding their plot for the house. They built the house.
So my dad built the house.
Okay.
And we lived there all our lives. My parents are still there.
Okay.
But they are from Clare. So my dad's from Doolin and my mom's from Bell Harbour. So we used to spend a lot of time in Clare as well. So we do most of our summers in Clare and in the Aran Islands too.
They're good memories.
Unbelievable. Are the best memories. So we were very lucky. The Celtic Tiger was very good to us. We had summer holidays in Spain. So my parents have an apartment in Spain that came about because of the Celtic Tiger. They have 2 houses down in Clare,
So you have a few homes.
A few homes. My dad would always be, like we always had nice things, but we didn't necessarily have flash things.
Yeah.
So rather, like my mom was never one for Louis Vuitton bags or, Prada shoes or whatever. We'd always invest. My mom and dad were always invested in either property or nice holidays, experiences, rather
Memories.
than be dripping in diamonds. And, I suppose back then we didn't understand, like we didn't really care about my dad having property then. It's only now that we're in our, 20s/30s
Good
that
move.
we're kind of like, oh my God.
Totally.
We're just so lucky. So, yeah, we spent a lot of time down in Clare as well. So my childhood memories are very 50-50 between Dublin and Clare. But the Dublin house, like, it was just such a lovely place to grow up. And my mom is very, very house proud, always has been. And she would be the type, like on a Sunday where, you're supposed to chill out and watch TV with the family or whatever. She just couldn't. She would be dusting, hoovering, ironing. But she was happy doing that.
She enjoyed it.
It wasn't as if she was kind of, I have to do this now or blah, blah, blah. She would way prefer to be standing up with a full basket of ironing, going through it and having the chats with us in the kitchen rather than, watching TV.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from her family as well, a farming house of there's always something to be done. Like farmers are married to the farm. There's no day off.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that was kind of bred into her. And my dad would be, my dad would be well able to just lie on the couch and fall asleep on a Sunday. But he also, he'd be good for when he is up and going, he's up and going.
So your childhood memories are a mixed bag between your summer holidays in Clare, Spain and Castleknock.
Yeah. God, I sound like such a spoiled brat. But I suppose I know it. And I know we were lucky.
So what was Christmas like in your childhood home?
Oh my God. So we used to... Actually, it's so weird because every time my mom talks about Christmas, she's like, all of our Christmases were in Clare. I'm like, Mom, but they weren't. We did a few in Dublin. We did do a few in Dublin. So my young Christmas memories are in Dublin, in Castleknock. And we used to, like, obviously you can barely sleep. You're so excited. I used to be shaking in the bed, like so excited.
Yep.
So we used to you'd wake at around 4 and you go into, and they'd be like, get out.
Yeah.
Get back to bed for at least another hour and a half. So you
Santa
go back in.
has not arrived.
Yeah, like there's no way he's come.
He's late.
Go back in.
He's really late.
Yeah. So you go back in and then maybe 5:30 you go in and I remember I used to like get in between mom and dad and be like, please. And they'd be like 20 minutes and I used to count the minutes.
I can imagine you like that actually.
Oh my God, like hyper. And then I spoke about this recently. I can't remember where. My dad, when we used to get up and go downstairs, my dad has a bat beside his bed that he would have for burglars or whatever, just in case.
A bat.
He used to bring the bat when we go down for Santa. And it's only now that I think about it, I'm like, what was his plan? Like, if Santa was there, was he going to hit him? I think it was just to add to the drama and the excitement.
Clever Santa.
Yeah, or like, I don't know whether, it was in case a burglar was trying to take our presents or whatever. But we used to go downstairs. So Santa used to come to the good room, which was like the front room, which hasn't been done up since the day the house was built. So you can imagine what the interiors are like there. So we used to go in. I remember one year we went in and there was this unbelievable Barbie house in front of the fireplace, and I was in my element. For me, yeah.
Okay. And not shared.
No, probably not shared because I was the youngest, so I was the only really one into Barbies at that time.
Okay.
And then I remember another year I got a Sylvanian Families bus. Oh my God, the crack! It was like an open top bus, so you'd be sitting all the Sylvanians in. Oh my God, we had amazing Christmases.
So I'm not even sure which home to even focus on, because I was gonna ask you about your own bedroom.
Oh yeah, no, my Castleknock bedroom.
Okay, we'll just ask you about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that bedroom.
So I was in that bedroom my whole life until I moved out.
Who did you have on the walls?
On the walls?
Yeah, posters.
Pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, posters. Oh my God, who did I have? S Club 7.
Okay, very serious.
Oh, no messing. Who did we have? Oh my God, Alva used to have the most random poster of all time when I think about it. Do you remember Eurostar?
Yes.
Do you remember not Mickey Joe Hart? The other lad who didn't even win it. Simon something. I can't even remember his surname.
Something.
Simon something. He used to sing that song, what is the color of our skin when we all shine from walks within? She had this massive poster on the ceiling. So she could gaze up at
How
him
did she get it up there?
I don't know. I'd say my dad lashed it up. It was her first poster boy. So yeah, that was on the walls. Whatever. Who else? Britney. Yeah, Queen.
Okay.
Who else? God, I can't think off the top of my head. But
What did it look like? What kind of color scheme did you have in the bedroom?
Like absolute pink to the max.
Pink heaven.
My dad, carpenter, made us bunk beds.
Okay.
Alva and I. So I would sleep on the top and she was on the bottom. Oh, it was so cute when I think of it now. They were wooden bunk beds and the stairs up to my bunk were in the shapes of hearts.
Oh my God, how cute.
Now, I don't know if that was very practical for your foot because the bottom of the heart was probably like stabbing the foot. But it was so cute. They were little hearts rather than steps. So I went up to the top. And then when I got to about 6th class, I got my room done up. And I remember I was in my element. My mom brought me up to Laura Ashley and I thought this was the biz.
Yes.
Just the interiors. I was like, oh my God. So I went for like creams and pinks again, but it wasn't like mad pink. It was like a nice kind of blush pink.
Yeah.
And so basically in that room, when you walk in, it narrowed at the back towards the window in a kind of a shape where you could push a double bed in.
Okay.
So it was almost like a little cove.
Yeah.
That you could push a double bed in. And I came up with the idea. I was like, because my mom didn't think of it. And I was like, why don't we get a bed that fits exactly into that little spot? And then I'll have the whole rest of the room. Because it was the window.
Exactly.
So we pushed it. Oh my God, I thought this was the coolest thing ever. It was like a little love shack. Not that I had anyone to be in there with. I was like 11. But it was. I had that. And then like I remember getting my own CD player and my own hair dryer. Like, when you're that age, you don't have your own hair dryer. Like
totally.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that was and it's only recently my mom did it up now as the baby's nursery for Avian's babies.
Cute.
Yeah.
So when you were 11 is when it kind of really clicked in.
Yeah.
You really knew what you liked. You went into blush. You were a little more sophisticated. You were moving out of baby Barbie doll pink, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all the teddies were up in the attic and I was cooler now.
You were cooler. And tell me about your own place now. Like, where are we now with you, Doireann?
Interesting question, because last night was only my second night in my new place. So for the past 3.5 years, myself and my sister Alva and her now husband Rory and their dog Bobby have been living in a house around the corner from my parents. It's their house as well, and we rent it. Mm-hmm. So we rented that for the past 3.5 years, and then they got married in October. So I was kind of like, give me the heads up when you want me to go. They were like, no, it's fine. We're sharing the rent, so it's all good. So they kind of, with the cost of the wedding and stuff, it kind of suited all of us to split the rent.
Totally.
So there was no major rush for me to leave. But then I was kind of like, a couple of months in, I was like, they are a married couple, so I should probably go. So about 6 weeks ago, I started to have a look around on Daft or whatever. And I came across a place in Castleknock around the corner from my parents.
Perfect.
So it's a 2-bed, 2-bath. And it's just me. And I just
It's nice up there. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's fab.
Loads of trees. It's nice.
Loads of trees right beside the Phoenix Park.
Yeah.
And so 2 nights in, it's going well. I have underground car park.
Perfect.
Lift straight up to my floor.
Love it.
And 2 balconies, one in my bedroom and one off the sitting room. I'm in my element now, I have to say.
You can walk around in the nip now. You don't have to worry about anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bobby nipping you.
Well, actually, the great thing is pets are allowed, so you can come for sleepovers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Thank God, because I honestly,
Slumber
I was like
parties.
to Alva, I was like, there's not going to be a big goodbye, okay? We're just going to act like, yippity-doo, I'm just going for a sleepover, you know.
How do you unwind after
How do I unwind,
your busy
darling?
week or in the evenings, even in your new place?
To be perfectly honest, I am not the best at unwinding. I am highly strung. I never switch off. And, you know, for a long time there, I kind of have been beating myself up about that and being like, come on, Doireann, like just switch off and blah, blah, blah. But now these days I'm kind of like, stop stressing about it. Like, it's not my personality really to be totally switched off. And even if switched off means that I'm thinking about, oh, what should I do next in terms of impressions? Or like, it's still passive, you know, it's not totally.
You're excited about it. It's not.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people confuse stress with excitement.
Totally.
I'm always saying that to myself. Am I stressed now, or am I just really excited? That's why my heart's beating.
That is.
Or what is it?
So true.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you know, I might be on the phone to my dad and I'll say, well, actually, no, my dad is quite an ideas person, so he wouldn't tell me to relax. But I don't know who it might be. I might be talking away about, do you know what I was thinking I could do this week? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, Doireann, just stop. And I'm like, no, I'm enjoying this buzz.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're on a buzz wave. Just go with the wave.
But I am well able to kind of just, you know, chill and watch a movie as well.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, my relaxation sometimes is just scrolling, which I know is awful and it shouldn't be.
Are you watching TV then and scrolling at the same time?
Both,
I think everybody does that actually.
That's the thing. But does that make it right?
That's not good.
It doesn't make it right because everyone does it.
Well, now my partner has started watching subtitled movies, really good ones, which just makes it impossible for me.
So you have to concentrate.
So I have to.
But that's actually, because I tried Narcos and I couldn't do it because of the subtitles.
It's torture.
Yeah.
But it's good. I've definitely watched those programs.
Yeah.
So just a bit of a, you know.
Okay, that's a good tip.
It's a tip.
Thank you.
Try subtitled movies. And so unwinding, would you like have a bath? Would you be into meditation, or are they all just ridiculous questions to ask?
No, not at all. Well, interesting you ask. I didn't have a bath in the house I've just moved out of. I have a bath in the apartment and I'm so excited to use it.
There you go.
Because because I would get sent nice things from time to time from brands, and I was sent bath salts and kind of exfoliating bath scrubs that I could never use.
Yeah.
And now I have them stacked up beside the bath. I can't wait to use them.
I know.
So I'm looking forward to that. But also I have the Calm app that I will throw on every now and then and do a bit of meditation. Sometimes just lying on my bed, just, you know, even though I'm on my phone, I could be reading something, you know, a good Guardian article about how to stay calm or how to, you know.
Yeah.
So
do you find that like catching up and being on top of your agenda, your work or whatever it is, your ideas relaxes you?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I look at my calendar and go, okay, I have these things on from Monday to Friday and I feel like I'm on top of all of them, or I feel like I'll be able to manage all of them and slot maybe gym in around them and time with, you know, my family in around that, there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that comes with doing what you love.
Yeah, it's your passion. You don't even see it as work.
At all. Ever.
I know.
And like the only tough thing about the breakfast show is the alarm clock. Like that, like after that, I absolutely
So what time do you
love it.
start? What's your morning? What time does it start?
So the show starts at 6, so my alarm is at 4:45.
Oh God.
Yeah. Actually, I was going away recently and I didn't need to be in the airport till I think 8. And so the alarm was off at like 5:30. I was like, well, look at this for a lie-in. Everyone else I was going with was like, no. I was like, an extra 45 minutes. So yeah, when the alarm goes off, it's tough. But once you're up, like once you have the routine down, so the outfit laid out, your shower in, out, quick body shower, into the clothes, grab whatever you need. I don't even grab a coffee. I just go. And once you're in the car, well, no, the car's still a bit rough. You're still like, oh God, I'm so tired. Once I'm in the studio and once I start, it could be any time of the day. You know, it could be 9 o'clock. And I think you always feel tired when you get up for work. You're like, oh God.
Everyone does, regardless.
Regardless of the time. I think once you're up and at it, it's fine. Yeah.
So if you were having friends around to your apartment, like what would be the one thing you would pull out? What are the big guns that you pull out for like a dinner or Christmas at your place or a party? Is there any kind of special piece of like a candle or
candles? I was going to say candles.
Glasses or I don't know. What do you bring out for something special?
I was going to say candles. I think there's nothing like just fab candles because it's not just the scent; it's the ambiance that they create,
the ambiance,
and the light that they give. Like it's just so
sets the tone.
Yeah. Diffusers. Like I'll always fluff up the cushions and do a Hoover or whatever. But I mean, I kind of always, it's only now that I've moved into my own place that I'm getting into interiors. I always was kind of, I think in the back of my mind, I was always like, okay, well, I'm not in my forever home, so I don't really care about whether the sheets match the curtains or the whatever. It's just whatever's clean. And I think that comes with being busy as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I was at home a lot more, I would take more pride in my place, which is why this coronavirus madness has kind of come about at a good time. No, there's never a good time, but I've been very distracted from it all because I'm kind of going, okay, what can I do in this room now today? What can I put here? What can I put here?
Yeah, and you're actually busy at home, which is not a bad thing.
Exactly.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
You're distracted from the whole, it's just a nightmare.
Totally. And like just little things are giving me such joy over the past few days. Like I had this unit, it was just this white unit with drawers in my place where I did live. And I was bringing it up to the new apartment and I was like, if that slots into the place that I want it to be in my bathroom, I will be so happy. It fit like a glove. I was like, this is the dream. But it's just so funny, the little things that bring you such joy about your house. And it can be the difference between the main lights being on and 2 fab lamps being on that just changes everything. And I'm sure you're the expert in that.
Yeah, I love low lights.
What would be your tips for if you're, say, on a budget?
On a budget, definitely invest in a good sofa if you can.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're sitting on most of the time. Yeah. I think go minimalist, just less is more. You don't need loads and loads. I think people sometimes invest a lot of money in loads and loads of bits.
Yeah.
And if it is their first home and they're trying to kind of build up pieces, then just try and invest in a decent sofa.
And colour-wise, I always kind of think, I do the same thing with my wardrobe. Like I'll get... If I'm going to spend money on anything, I'll spend it, say in September, I'll spend it on a black coat, black boots,
there you go,
and a black bag. So I think the kind of same goes for furniture.
100%.
It does it.
Totally.
So you go for kind of a neutral.
I think so. And then just experiment with colour.
Colour,
pops of scatter cushions on, colour pops on those.
Yeah.
A cool lamp, maybe a piece of art that isn't an investment piece, but you can pick up some nice art to throw in colour.
Yeah.
A rug.
Yeah, rug.
You don't have to majorly invest in that. There's, there's ways to layer it in.
Yeah.
And to play around with your money. Yeah. You're a good sleeper.
I'm a great sleeper.
There you go.
That's the good thing about, yes, I'm a busy person and yes, I'm an excited person, but I will never not be able to sleep.
So you were always a busy person and always an excited person?
Yeah, always. From
the day you were born?
I went through a bit of a lull in college, actually, where I kind of lost my drive a bit. Because I did drama and theatre studies in Trinity. It was my first choice and I got it. I think when you get your first choice, if you're not enjoying it, there's a guilt there. You're going to go, okay, well, this is what I worked for. I've got it. I'm not allowed to complain.
Yeah.
And I started the course and it just wasn't what I expected. It was less practical than I thought it would be. I thought there would be more acting classes and more kind of, practice than theory. I didn't feel smart enough for the course.
That's ridiculous.
Well, no, I honestly didn't. The course was 500 points and I got 505. So I felt like I scraped it from the get-go. The most people in my class had got 560, 570 and they were all very sure of themselves and very kind of secure in their opinions. And I didn't feel like I was at all. I kind of felt like I'm a real leaving cert head who kind of learned what I needed to learn, spat it out on the exam papers, and I'm not actually great at formulating my own opinions. Mm-hmm. That's what I embedded into my head. And I remember there was a tutorial. So you'd have your lectures, but then you'd have tutorials which are more intimate and you can talk and give your opinions. And I remember in the first week I did that. I kind of talked about something and I got like the worst reception from the lecturer and a couple of the people in the class. And it had such an effect on me. I kind of went, oh Jesus, I'm not talking in a tutorial ever again. And when I say to you, Arlene, I didn't speak once in a tutorial again for my 4 years of college.
That's not good.
And the more the weeks passed when I didn't talk, the less I was able to even fathom talking.
Oh God.
And it just really embedded in my head. I was like, I'm not good enough to be here. I'm not smart enough to be here. I'm not hip enough for Trinity. I should be in DCU because I'm not, because I lived at home. There's a lot of people in Trinity are from outside of Dublin. They are living in digs. They're going out every night of the week. I lived at home and I kind of was like getting the bus at 5 to have my mom's dinner at 6. So I loved that, but it didn't fit well with what, I don't know. And it was like, it was all in my own head. No one was making me really feel like that. I kind of just got it into my head. And I went through a stage of kind of almost like social anxiety. I remember one day, I just lost my confidence for a good while. And I remember one day I went up where it really kind of registered with me how bad I got. I went into River Island. This sounds mad. I'm laughing at it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I went into River Island and I was with my sister Alva and I was bringing back a pair of shoes. And I kind of hadn't told Alva how bad I was kind of feeling about just being in my own skin. And I had to bring back the pair of shoes. And I remember Alva was like, okay, go on up there to the till and do it. And I kind of was walking around the shop, almost like just avoiding going up to the till. And she was like, Dee, bring back the shoes. And I was like, yeah, I will now in a second. So I just want to have a look at some of the clothes or whatever. I couldn't bring myself to go up and speak to the girl at the till and say,
oh man, that's not good.
It was so bad. And I remember I did eventually go up and Alva was standing beside me. And then I knew Alva was so aware. And I kind of put the shoes up and I was like, they don't really fit me. And I couldn't get the words out.
You lost confidence in yourself.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I remember Alva being like, and I went bright red. Alva was like, what the hell is going on with you?
Yeah.
And because it was so unlike me.
Poor you.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And you know what? That was only maybe 5 years ago. And even it's kind of made me happy to think now how much even the vocabulary around mental health and anxiety has evolved since then. Because I didn't have the words then to say to Alva, I'm just feeling a bit anxious, or I'm just feeling a bit down, or I'm just feeling a bit whatever. Yeah. Whereas now I'd be well able to say that. I'd be able to say, I think I might have a touch of anxiety, or I think I might have. Yeah. But then I didn't have a clue. I didn't have the language to say. Poor baby. But like I was, I know people can be a lot worse. But
no, but that's a very typical. I've heard things like that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did you find your way out of it? Like, how did you?
To be honest, I think probably just leaving college was a big help. And I just didn't have the anxiety of exams and
the whole pressures that came with it. Yeah, exactly. Well, that probably contributed to it, everything.
I know. And I kind of, looking back, it would be easy to think that all set in after college because I didn't really know what I was doing. But I was so happy to be out of that situation. Yeah. So it took me about 6 months to kind of find my feet and figure out what I wanted to do. And once I did, I kind of haven't looked back.
Happy days. And where on earth did you come up with, or have you always been doing impressions? Because you are absolutely hilarious and you're a divil. But where did it start? Did you start doing impressions of family members, or where did this?
Yeah, I did it from a very young age. I used to come home from school and I'd sit my parents down and say, okay, you guys are the students. I'm going to be my teacher and this is what she was like today. And we had a blackboard in our kitchen, so I totally added to the drama. So I used to be writing up random stuff. But I've always done it. I've always been very observant. My mom said that I used to, when I was maybe 3, if I was in the car, when I kind of started to be able to talk or whatever, and if we drive by a car, and if the front of the car looked a certain way, like the lights and the reg plate, and I used to go, Mom, why is that car smiling? Or why is that car frowning?
Yeah.
You know, he's so like...
you can see it. I know exactly what you're talking
the facial
about.
expressions in the front of a car. So I used to say this. My mom would be like, what is she on about? And then she caught on. And she was like, she's a weird... Like, the observational skills out of her are so weird. And then, like, my granddad is a musician, my mom's dad. He plays the concertina. So I think I kind of have an ear... I think it's the same ear, like a musical ear... and picking up on people's accents, it's kind of the same thing. So I think that's where being able to do people's voices comes from.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Are you a spiritual person?
Not particularly.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would be, and I almost feel like she does enough for all of us.
Yeah.
She's constantly thinking about all of us and, you know, in a spiritual way, and what's for you won't pass you, and we'll leave it in the hands of Our Lady. And, you know, so she does a lot of that. And so I almost feel like she's got my back. So I don't really need to worry about it too much.
She's got you covered. She's got a direct line.
Yeah.
But I'm in houses all the time, and I'll often say that I see like a crystal, or I'll see a book about something, or a little angel statue. You always see something and you're like, oh, okay, that's what they're into.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Well, beside my bed, I have my Nana's mass card. And I have a tiny little glass thing of Our Lady that my mom gave me. And I'll always have that beside my bed. You know, and I'd feel really bad if I didn't. And it's not necessarily that I would ever pray to my Nana or to God or to Our Lady or whatever. But there's this kind of sense of security there.
Yeah.
And I do, if I was... Do you know what? I've just been so lucky in my life that I've never had anything massive where I feel like I have to turn to something. But if I did, it would be my Nana.
And you do a lot of social media, and it's a big part of your life and your business and all that. And do you find that kind of helps that you can do that from home? Is that a plus or a minus, positive or a negative in your life?
It's a bit of a negative at the moment, because I have a boyfriend now. Arlene, very exciting. We've been together, actually last week, a year ago was when we first met.
Okay.
So we've been kind of like official since maybe last summer. And I, of course, when you're single, you can do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to answer to anyone. And so I would come home and, like, if I wanted to lie on my bed and be scrolling and put up funny videos for 3 hours, I could. But now I've Paddy, and he is amazing. And I'd say, though, the main cause of any fights we do have is because of the phone. I'm just like...
Disaster.
It's a disaster.
We all are.
But you see, we all are. And that's what I try to say to him.
We are all onto each other as well. So no one can point the finger at anybody.
This is the thing. And he, like, we could be sitting and, like, neither of us are on our phones, and he picks his up first. And he'll scroll, and I'll be like, I'm going to see now. I'm going to...
Have you ever texted him when you're on the sofa watching a movie? I do that sometimes. He's like, hey, put the phone down. And then he's looking at my text.
He'll be like scrolling or whatever, and I'll be like, maybe I should put on a little timer here and see how long he takes. But then, like, I might pick up mine, and as soon as he puts down his, he's like, hey, get off. I'm like, no, you get off yours first. But no, I hands up, I'm a total disaster with it. And there are times where I know he's like, are you even listening to me? Like, what is the story with you? But it's just because... Do you know what it is? Like, he'll be like, would you stop checking your likes and your comments? And I'm like, it's not that I'm checking how many likes and comments I have. Sometimes I just feel like I have to monitor stuff in case I get something negative and I don't want it to be there. Sure. Or I feel like I need to respond to it. Yeah. Or maybe I've put up something that I think is totally fine, but actually it's a bit insensitive to someone, and they might comment.
You want to catch it. Yeah.
I want to catch it. And I don't mean catch it as in delete it. I mean catch it as in deal with it. So respond or write to that person and say, I totally didn't mean that, or whatever it might be. So I feel, because it is, at the end of the day, as bad as it sounds, it's part of my business now. So if you're managing a business, you have to manage everything about it. I got it. I know. Yeah. It's 24/7. Yeah. And like, there's sometimes, some evenings you're just not into the whole thing at all. Oh yeah. You just would rather... Allergic. Yeah, allergic to it, and then... Yeah. Totally. Like, it's very important to your business, or whatever the business is. It is important. Yeah. But it's, it's a job, really. And then sometimes I'm like, I like to have the phone there all the time, because if I leave it for 2 hours, I'm almost dreading picking it back up because I know there's going to be so much.
A tsunami.
Whereas I'd rather tick along with it.
As you go along. Yeah. I'm like that when we go away on holidays though. I just rather...
Don't let it build.
No, just every day, just tip at it and just be on top, because there's nothing worse than coming back to this
mountain.
In your home. Let's even start with that. Like your home, what drives you absolutely crazy? Are you OCD? Are you like super organized? Do you like your sheets ironed a certain way?
Do you know what drives me crazy? Actually, I have it now. I feel like no matter how much I immaculately tidy my house, my apartment or my room, it'll always end up in a tip in a couple of hours, and I don't even know how I don't even know how I do it. I don't know how I get there. I feel like I'm constantly tidying and cleaning. But I wouldn't be that OCD about things being lined up nicely or whatever. I'm fairly laid back in that regard. And I think that comes with being creative as well. I like to think of myself as this mad artist who has messiness all around them, but it's creating ideas, so it's
organized
fine.
Mess.
Yeah. But yeah, pet hates in general. In general, I don't like people who are too much of sticklers for time, and I know that sounds bad.
Yeah.
But I'm mainly just thinking about Paddy. I feel like I'm just giving out about him all the time. He is a stickler for time. And I'm like, please, like, even if I'm 5 minutes late, he'll be like, why didn't you just say you were going to be here at 7:35 if you were going to be here at 7:35? Why did you say 7:30?
Oh,
and I'm like, Paddy, come on.
I know.
But he's the best in the world.
If your home was on fire and you had to save 3 things, what would they be?
They would be...
And your family's outside.
A family photo, maybe my family photo from Alva's wedding, because it was just such a gorgeous day. And now that people's weddings have to be cancelled, which is so heartbreaking because of coronavirus, I almost feel even more grateful for it because it was only in October. And it was just the nicest day. And because Paddy was my date, and like, I didn't think I'd have a date for Alva's wedding. So there's a photo of all of us together. So I'd save that. I would save my phone. Is that awful? My life's on my phone. No,
that was one of mine.
I'd save my phone.
Definitely.
And without wanting to sound like a total lick arse, I would save my Ventura candle. It's amazing. I haven't even lit it, and it smells, the whole apartment smells of it without even lighting it.
Well, that's good.
It's unreal.
It's thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And what about your
frisbee
phone? It. Frisbee it. Paddy.
They'd be my 3 things.
Okay, good answers. Doireann, are you ready?
Good to go.
Bath or shower?
Shower.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Left or right?
Left.
Bra or knickers first?
Knickers.
TV or radio?
Radio.
Red or white wine?
White.
Taxi or walk?
Taxi.
Text or talk?
Talk.
Coppers or crystal?
Coppers.
Eat in or take out?
Eat in.
Kanye or Trump?
Kanye.
Yeah?
I don't know why I said it like that. Kanye.
Well, thank you so much, Doireann, for joining us today.
Can I just say, you need to go into proper presenting. You are a fabulous interviewer.
Oh, thank you very much.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.